As your Prime Minister, I would like to thank you for downloading the Friday Night Comedy podcast from Radio 4. That's as much as I can reveal about my podcasting strategy at this stage. But if you want to find out more, visit bbc.co.uk/Radio 4. But not until you've enjoyed this week's tariff-free episode of Dead Ringers.
Dead Ringers, the Alternative 2016 special.
You're listening to Today. In this special edition, we'll be taking a look back at 2016.
And what an eventful year it was. Britain voted to remain in the EU. Hillary Clinton became president. And the new Chris Evans Top Gear was a raving success.
Prince Harry slowly worked his way through every American TV actress until he finally married his perfect woman, Daphne out of Scooby-Doo.
At first, one did have reservations. The last bosomy redhead in the family didn't quite work out. But one has finally conceded that Daphne is perfect. She's two-dimensional, she's comfortable around dogs, hangs out in drafty castles and doesn't have a proper job.
And 2016 was also a year in which, quite remarkably and thankfully, not a single much-loved celebrity died.
In other news, Piers Morgan passed away.
2016 was a big year in entertainment. The changing face of television continued, with a primetime BBC show being given a big money reboot by Amazon Prime.
Welcome to Amazon Prime's Antiques Roadshow!
Hello, I'm Fiona Bruce. Fetch me a hot dinner before I punch a producer. Join me after the break, when I'll be delivering rather unsubtle racial slurs and telling Tim Wonnacott he values antiques like a girl. After Planet Earth 2 bombed in the ratings, the BBC has decided that Planet Earth 3 will need to be dumbed down.
Emerging from the clearing, an iguana and a lizard. And they are going to help their team to eat all 4 of Ant and Dec's testicles.
The biggest television story of the year was the appearance on Strictly Come Dancing of a former Labour Party big hitter.
Here he is discussing the extraordinary few weeks with Claudia Winkleman.
So, Ed, how will you remember your time on Strictly?
Well, look, that's a great question. What I say, it was an amazing experience for me. I talked to people up and down the country, and I asked if I might lose my credibility, and they told me you can't lose what you don't have in the first place.
Later, we'll be looking back at the year in sport, as a summer which had started so well for Mo Farah ended in disaster.
You join us just as Mo Farah is coming round the final bend, about to complete a historic double in the 10,000 metres. And, oh, hang on a moment, there's someone on the track. Is that Michael Gove?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been watching this race from the sidelines. I have repeatedly said that I do not want to run in the Olympics, but I have come reluctantly to the conclusion that Mo Farah cannot win this race, which is why I am announcing my candidacy to be the 10,000 metres runner for Team GB, and also the new face of Quorn.
Later, we'll be looking back at the high arts and the controversies surrounding the performer who declined to collect their Nobel Prize for Literature.
You can keep your big Swedish ceremony. I'd rather stay in with a nice cup of tea.
Instead, Pam Ayres sent another admired artist to pick up the award on her behalf.
I'm honoured to collect this award on behalf of Pam Ayres. Would I have been able to write "The times they are changing" if it wasn't for, oh, I wish I'd looked after my teeth.
But the big story of the year was the reaction across Europe as Britain voted to stay in the EU. Here's Nick Robinson with the details.
What no one expected, Sarah, was that because Britain voted to stay, the rest of Europe immediately decided to leave. France started it all, of course, with Frexit, and then there was Grexit, Spexit, and Portugexit. Then there was Gemexit, Hungrexit, Czech Repexit, and the poorly named Swedish exit, Sexit. Britain was virtually the only country left in Europe, but at least we kept freedom of movement between Doncaster and Leeds.
So then it was just us and Cyprus.
When Scotland realised they now only had a Greek island to protect them from English oppression, Nicholas Sturgeon came to the rescue.
We will rebuild Hadrian's Wall. It's going to be great. So great. Nobody builds walls more great than mine. And I will make the English pay for it.
The tactics used in the build-up to the referendum were often underhand, with one fringe party releasing a poster that shocked the nation.
I'm Natalie Bennett. In the Green Party, stand by our migrant poster. We feel it's a fair representation. All migrants do come here with a smile on their face, a skip in the step, handfuls of cash to give to the poor, bringing with them the cure for cancer, the secret to time travel, buckets full of newborn puppies, and, of course, making love to every single one of us in the most beautiful, sensitive way.
For Nigel Farage, the Remain result was a kick in the teeth. He was spotted spread-eagled, semi-conscious, on the floor in the old Red Lion pub, weeping into his yard of ale, wearing only a pair of Union Jack boxer shorts, 2 hours before the voting started.
But he eventually sobered up enough to appear on TV.
And welcome to the Andrew Marsh Show. My guests today include...
No, let me speak. This referendum is a farce, I tell you. And not one of those amusing farces where the blonde with the big boobs gets her dress snagged in the door and a passing Pakistani man pops his eyes out and says, "Oh my, goody gun drops." In that sort of hilarious accent. No, this is a very different kind of farce. Remain won with only 52% of the vote. That's no mandate at all. If the results were the other way round, I'd say exactly the same thing. I demand another referendum, but this time my bus will be a double-decker, more room for lies. I'm just a man who loves my country and everything in it, as long as it was in it before 1960.
So there is no chance that you're leaving the UK?
No chance. Oh, there's my phone. Sorry about that. Hold on. Hello? Oh, Donald. Why, yes, I'd love to work for your campaign. I'll be on the next flight. Screw you, Blighty. I'm leaving once and for all. Stick your London pride up your chocolate fundament. Nigel's now a Bud Light kind of man. Cheerio.
So Nigel Farage flew out to the USA, where he was given a senior position, head toilet cleaner at Trump Towers. In the days after the referendum, people wondered what swung it for Remain.
Most commentators agreed it was Project Fear, as this campaign ad clearly shows.
There are many things that could happen if Britain opts to leave the EU. Currency crashing, rampant inflation, mass unemployment. But one thing will definitely happen. Marmite going up 10 pence in Tesco.
The nation was shocked to the core. It quickly grew to a fever pitch with riots in the streets.
Marmite riots, which, not surprisingly, split the country right down the middle.
Moments after the result was announced, David Cameron appeared on the steps of Number 10.
That's right. I won. Yabu sucks for you. I am the main man, the head honcho, number one boy. Eat my shorts, losers, 'cause I be...
At which point Cameron became so smug he began to self-combust.
This left a vacancy for Tory leader. In the leadership race that followed, the candidates had to show that they were fully committed Remainers.
Many papers have wrongly inferred from some of my comments describing the European Union as a viper's nest, as a blood-sucking leech, draining away Britain's precious life fluid. That I wasn't much keen on the EU. But, there's an important fact the mainstream media has missed in all of this, and that fact is, I'm a shameless opportunist.
As your Remain Prime Minister, Boris Johnson will engulf Europe in an embrace so warm, my wife will make me sleep in the spare room for a whole week.
Next to declare was former Home Secretary Theresa May.
I have a motto. Remain means remain.
Which instantly scuppered her chances as its meaningless drivel.
Sweeping past the ranks of the unappealing career politicians came a populist candidate who swept all before him to victory.
Good morning. I am very grateful to you, my loyal viewers, and the electorate for making me British Prime Minister. I hope to make the United Kingdom as much of a success story as I have done running Amstrad.
Yes, who'd have thought that one of the world's leading nations would turn to the host of The Apprentice to lead them? A gruff, outspoken tycoon famous for his Twitter outbursts and strange hair.
After Lord Sugar's first statement as PM, the pound fell sharply, got up, staggered, fell again, got up off its knees, kissed goodbye to its wife, drove to the beach and walked slowly into the sea.
It's thought that Lord Sugar's elevation to Prime Minister was due to a strategy of whipping up anger amongst the electorate against a small, marginalised minority, apprentice contestants. All seemed to be going well, but then Sugar had a major setback when there was widespread anger about the appointments to the cabinet, which seemed to be flagrantly nepotistic.
My first appointments will be my daughter, Demerara, my son, Kane, my new young wife, Hermesita, and Sugar by the Archies.
While Britain was busy ditching Lord Sugar, Labour had their own problems, and not just how to tell if someone's Jewish.
In July, they held a leadership election with Jeremy Corbyn going up against party stalwart Angela Eagle.
At first, Eagle had little support, with activists giving reasons such as her previous voting record, her lack of vigour, and her voice like a chinchilla with a migraine.
Desperate to succeed, Eagle saw only one route to victory, doing what all successful modern politicos do, fully embracing post-truth politics and lying through her teeth.
I am not timid. I am not meek. I am actually 6'4", hands like dinner plates. I once captained a submarine. I'm the emoji of the dancing woman in the red dress. My voice is strong and bold. I taught Brian Blessed how to say Gordon's alive. I want everything you want on every issue at all times. I'm going to lead Britain simultaneously in and out of Europe, depending on what you want to hear. Immigrants are both welcome with open arms and can bugger off back where they came from.
In a desperate bid to appear strong, she took an industrial dose of steroids, bought some fangs and wolverine claws, and began to stalk Westminster at night, brutally savaging anyone who mentioned socialism.
Eagle now leads the Parliamentary Labour Party from a maximum security prison. Senior Labour officials have described her administration as a marked improvement on Corbyn's. Corbyn claimed that while he had failed to appeal to the right of the party, or the centre ground, he did poll extremely well with his key demographic, Diane Abbott.
Mr. Humphreys, I am not the only one who supports Jeremy. Not by any means. I stand strong. Besides, my comrades, Jeremy's hat stand, his spare cardigan, and his built-in fridge unit.
The big story across the Atlantic was the presidential election. Reporting for today was Jim Naughtie.
Clinton offered the US voters a continuation of the Obama years, and Trump offered a continuation of the Hunger Games trilogy. In October, the race for the White House was thrown a curveball upon the release of a covert recording showing the true nature of one of the candidates.
That's all from The One Show this week. A big thank you to all of our guests. Join us again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Great show, everybody. Pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Clinton, but I've got to shoot off.
Woohoo! Your Matt Baker is a tasty piece of Geordie ass.
Oh, yes, the Hillary knows.
I'm just attracted to beautiful men. I just want to kiss them. It's like a magnet. When you're a star, you can do whatever you want to them.
Go on, girl.
There was this one presenter. I moved on him pretty hard. I moved on him like a bastard. He was real hot. I took him out furniture shopping. I'm ashamed to say he turned me down. He said, "You're a real Bobby Dazzler, but this furniture's cheap as chips."
David Dickinson doesn't know what he's missing. How did you take that?
Oh, well, I just did what I always do. I grabbed him by the cock.
The media had a field day over the story, and after weeks of intense scrutiny, Clinton was forced to issue a formal statement.
That conversation was just powder room talk. This sort of banter goes on all the time. You should hear what Melania Trump says about Mike Pence.
With ringing endorsements from Chachi of Happy Days, the KKK, ISIS, Hannibal Lecter and Sauerman, it seemed that nothing could stop Donald Trump. But then, on the final day of campaigning, Trump gained a strong lead in every poll, which means, of course, he lost. As you would expect, Trump was gracious in defeat.
All I have to say to the American people is, I hate you. You suck. You're such total losers, folks. I don't care how you voted. Any woman who knows the Donald knows I do not know the meaning of the word no. So it isn't a no, it's a yes. I'm still going to be your president. It's going to be great.
And that's just what Trump did. In rural North Dakota, he and his die-hard supporters set up an independent state of Trumponia.
Hello, and welcome to another glorious day in glorious Trumponia. The weather here's great. Great. The economy is great. The people are great. It's just so great. We're going to build a swimming pool, and Hillary is going to pay for it. It's so great.
Sadly, the dream that was Trumponia collapsed when Trump sold all the children to China for a golden toilet.
You're listening to the Today programme with a look back at 2016.
The year in which Britain voted Remain, Hillary Clinton became US President, and the Bank of England had to apologise when they discovered the new polymer £5 note contained minute traces of monetary value.
And it was an eventful year in the arts and media. Here's Kirsty Walk. Yes, one of the great media events was British astronaut Tim Peake's launch into space.
Okay, Tim, this is Mission Control. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6...
I've been watching this rocket launch from the sidelines. I have repeatedly said that I do not want to be the first British man in space, but I've come reluctantly to the conclusion that I would make a way better astronaut than Tim Peake. Which is why I'm withdrawing my support for him and putting myself forward. Let me in the rocket, Tim.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't touch that. You're pressing the self-destruct button.
Yes, I do that rather a lot, don't I?
One of the big media stories of 2016 was Downton Abbey, following Julian Fellowes' decision not to end the show in 2015. Downton fans were delighted, but not so happy that the new series had jumped forward considerably from the 1940s.
Lord Grantham, I have a call from Lady Edith on the space phone from one of the off-world colonies.
Oh, will this blasted 25th century ever give me a minute's peace? Tell Lady Edith I can't speak now as I'm trying to relax and do some virtual charity work. I'm on level 3, throwing raw meat to the Morlocks.
Oh, Robert, don't forget we've got guests this weekend. Boo-boop-be-doo.
Oh, not those blasted Daleks again.
Oh, darling, they enslaved the Earth 3 centuries ago. At least make the effort to get along.
Father, I'm so bored. Bored. Do you know how tedious it is doing this cat bum phase for hundreds and hundreds of years?
On that very point, Mary, there's something I've been meaning to say. You know I told you a little while ago that you were a robot, explaining your strange manner and unchanging expression. Well, prepare yourself for a shock.
Oh, Father, you don't mean...
Yes, You're not a robot at all. You're just genuinely boring as hell.
Lord Grantham, the holographic Dowager Countess, is here, with a gentleman friend.
Mother, who is this chap? I hope he's into breads.
Well, of course, he's a lord. One does have standards.
I am going to make your mother a very happy woman.
Lord Vader?
You know the old saying, once you go to the dark side, you don't go back.
Mother, give me one good reason why I should welcome a blighter such as him.
Lord Vader wants to enforce imperial measures.
Really? In that case, welcome to the family.
You're listening to the Today Review of 2016.
2016 was the year that Channel 4 aggressively bought up BBC programmes like The Great British Bake Off.
But what no one foresaw was the BBC retaliating by buying shows from commercial stations.
And now on BBC One, it's Big Brother.
Hello, Big Brother House. This is Joan Bakewell. Please don't swear, get your boobs out in the hot tub, or make any arguments based on moral relativism.
Channel 4 programmes were even bought up by our own Radio 4.
Hello, I'm Sue McGregor, and welcome to Embarrassing Bodies. The show where people come in, show me their privates, and I say, good gracious, that's embarrassing. Joining me today is retired welder Alan.
Hello.
Who's about to drop his trousers and pants. Good gracious, that's embarrassing.
You're listening to the Today programme special look back at 2016.
A year in which a major royal refurbishment plan was announced. £369 million is to be spent upgrading Prince Andrew. It's hoped he'll soon be reopened as a normal human being.
And now we'll take a look at the major sporting moments of the year. And let's go over to Claire Balding.
Hello. Sorry I'm out of breath. I was just at the hairdresser's asking for my usual, the Lego Donald Trump. Euro 16 was the big event this year, and who can forget England's memorable game against Iceland?
So with 20 minutes gone here, and this game is going exactly as expected, we are absolutely stuffing them. It's 28-0. 4 of the Icelandic players are cowering by the corner flag, and the manager is standing on the crossbar threatening to jump. We really should have seen this coming, really, Mark. Imagine if England's team of millionaire superstar athletes had lost to these part-time herring fishermen and blubber salesmen.
When you think about it, surely our whole team would have had to retire if we, the country who invented football, had lost to Iceland. Can you imagine that? I mean,
But how did the rest of the tournament go? In his final press conference, Roy Hodgson told the story.
We won the Euros. No, up yours. This is for everyone who said I'd never amount to anything. Everyone at school who laughed and called me Owl Boy and made me sleep in a tree and pick up my dinner with my toes.
But there was soon controversy.
You're watching BBC News. The headlines tonight. Roy Hodgson has been suspended following the release of a secret recording regarding financial malpractice.
Now, what I do, right, I go to the self-service checkout in a big Tesco. I pop 10 of them fancy Danish pastries on the scale and put it through as 1 King Edward potato. You save yourself about £4 a shop. Now, you didn't hear it from me, all right?
So there was a sudden vacancy and the role was filled by Home Secretary Theresa May. Yes, Theresa May somehow ended up with one of the most important jobs in the country, not because she was particularly well qualified, but simply because there was no one else left in the race. Shortly after her appointment, she addressed the nation. I have just been to Wembley Stadium, where His Majesty David Beckham invited me to put on a blue puffy jacket with the letters TM sewn onto it, and I accepted. Did you know that if you're an England footballer, you're less likely than anybody else in Britain to know where France is on a map? If you're an England footballer, your dress sense will be on average 36% poorer than the rest of the country's. And if you're an England footballer, your children's names will be among the silliest in the developed world.
Another of 2016's highlights was the Queen's Christmas speech, which would rock the nation.
My subjects, what a year of turmoil this has been. Wars rage round the globe, poverty is on the rise, and the Royal Variety performance was just Honey G doing the Running Man and a Snapchat video of a cat playing the piano. One's had it up to one's back teeth, so one's off to Mustique with a lorry load of Bombay Sapphire and a copy of the Racing Post. The only question that remains is who is to succeed me. Well, I shall tell you. For those subjects who missed it, in a particularly surprising episode of Who Do You Think You Are, it was revealed that the rightful heir to the throne of this dear realm is His Royal Highness, Danny Dyer.
Yeah. When I went on Who Do You Reckon You Are and found out I was the Queen, wow, wait a minute. Well, look, I just want to say to my predecessor, QE2, lovely girl, on behalf of my subjects, a heartfelt cheers, babe, and be lucky.
However, a mere 24 hours into his reign, King Danny also abdicated.
Right, people, shut up. No. I won't ask this again. Where's me dragon? Know what I mean? I've been watching Game of Thrones, and as your Khaleesi, I'll get a ride on a dragon, along with 3 girls what got the Bristol cities out. Nice girls. Stuff this, I'm done. Get out of my pub.
Following that, Gareth Southgate took over as caretaker monarch until Prince Charles finally arrived to claim the throne. And we watch now as the crown is about to be placed on Prince Charles' head. He is so close to his dream now. What? Wait a minute. There's someone approaching the altar. Is that... Ladies and gentlemen, I've been watching... I have been watching this line of succession from the sidelines. I have repeatedly said that I do not want to be king, but I have come reluctantly to the conclusion that Prince Charles is a slightly bigger plonker than I am. Just a bit. What's going on? Now, I'm just hearing that, unfortunately for Gove, in the 4 seconds it's taken the Archbishop to place the crown on his head, Britain has voted to be a republic. There they are.
You've been listening to Dead Ringers. It was performed by John Culshaw, Jan Ravens, Deborah Stevenson, Duncan Wisby and Lewis MacLeod. It was written by Tom Jameson and Nev Fountain, Ed Amsden and Tom Coles, Lawrence Howarth, Max Davis, James Spark, Sarah Campbell and Jack Bernhardt. It was produced and created by Bill Dare and was a BBC Studios production.
As your Prime Minister, I must tell you that to listen again to any of our comedies on Radio 4, please go to bbc.co.uk/Radio4/comedy.